My name is Ingrid Fleury. I used to be a bilingual instructional coach for a district in Texas. I did coaching training with 3 different companies, and all of them had basically the same principles when it comes to coaching. The most important is to actually build the trust, and from there you can ask anybody to move forward into any goal setting. Classroom coaching is an opportunity for a teacher to actually have conversations with students about their goals, what are their needs, what they're looking forward and for their future, and together they can plan and work towards that goal specifically. It's very important that when the teacher is actually having those conversations, it has to have in consideration the trust in between the student, understanding and looking at the student as a whole. When I was in Texas, we were able to get into classrooms and coach teachers on how to implement certain strategies. But we also noticed that when we did the coaching, the students were also engaging into the conversation, like, why we don't have those coaching conversations with us? And truly, the teachers becomes to be a coach for their students all the time without even thinking. So we started asking teachers to get into the classroom and doing those coaching conversations and setting goals. And we saw that the first time that we started doing and setting those goals, the students themselves started pushing forward and getting better every single trimester. So at the end, from coming from a district level coaching teachers, the word went down to teacher and students, and actually we saw the progress as well. Secondary students, I think they are different creatures. You know, they need a lot of support, and sometimes as the students progress in their learning and their elementary level and then middle school, they stop talking. And when they get to secondary classes, having coaching conversation is actually going to make them open to what they really want in life. The last years in school is when actually they start thinking about how they're going to be when they leave high school, what career they're going to take, and building those relationships through coaching. It's crucial, and it's very much needed in our students in secondary level. One-on-one conference is usually the recommendation is to sit down side by side to lower that anxiety and go over different data points and talk about what are the weaknesses and what are some things that they need to work on, but always looking for ways that asking questions and making the students to come up with what the problem could be and what could be the solution for that specific problem. Especially for secondary students, building relationship with them, it's crucial when it comes to building the trust. You really want them to be able to open up and say, I was not able to turn in this assignment because my dog got lost yesterday. You know, like giving them the opportunity to express what they're actually living on a daily basis at their home or what are their issues at home, and that way we can target that piece. But I believe that building the relationship is clue when it comes to starting the coaching piece in the classroom. Interactive journals are crucial when it comes to know more about their needs or what's going on at home. And depending on the question and depending on the prompt that the teacher is able to give, she's going to get some information about what those needs and what those weaknesses could be and target those for a better perspective in the future. Homeschool connection, it could be one. The learning logs, I think it's another one that we sometimes see a little bit about the background, the cultural background of our students and the processing of the information at the same time of what they're thinking. And also when it goes to primary language retail, you know a little bit more about their needs when it comes to language and even about their needs in a general setting. It's important when we are building that collaboration in the classroom, like I said before, adding a little bit of the trust and giving them opportunities to share what their thoughts are. It gives the teacher a little bit of the understanding of what are the things that she needs to target as well. Sometimes the students, they don't come up with what are the problems or what are those things that they need to target. And those collaborations will give the teacher in a lower affected way what are the things that she might need to address when she has those collaboration and those coaching conversations with the students. Like, I saw what you did yesterday, or I saw what you were talking to so-and-so yesterday, and these are the things that maybe you can consider to target those pieces that you think you are not as comfortable doing. Or more in a positive note, maybe you can say, I saw that you did so well this, why don't you keep moving forward and try it this other way, progressing in any of the skills that they need to progress. When you sit down with the students, the ideal is for them to create their goals. It's all about the questioning, how you ask the questions. Like, for example, what are the things that you're doing great? What are the things that you think you need to move forward or you need a little bit more support on? How can I help you as a teacher to get those goals met? Or is there anything that you can change? So it's always about the questioning that the teacher asks and prompts the student, but the idea is not for the teacher to tell them, this is what you have to do. In order for you to get to here from here, she's always like, what do you think we have to do to get you from this point A to point B? And what are the things that you think that you can bring up, or what are the things that I can help you for you to move forward? It's all about the conversation and the asking the questions. We don't want to tell them specifically what they need to do. We want them to be self-reflective, and that's what actually makes the real change. Once the students set up a goal, and let's say that they are not able to achieve that goal at a certain point on that specific time, the teacher should be able to meet with that student in a regular basis in between the goal setting time. And in case that the student is not able to achieve that goal as they want, we can go backwards and do a reflective piece again and see how we can adapt again our goal and what are we doing, and adapt those things that we're doing in order to have a little bit of progress. Sometimes we tend to set goals really high, and it's okay we don't achieve those goals, we can go backwards. But what we really want is promote any kind of change or any kind of progress. So having those conversations, like if you feel like it's a little bit too much of a challenge, let's go back and see what are the things that we are doing, what are the things that we can change. The important thing is to motivate that progress to go on. Initially, it's very crucial to create that relationship of trust. The first week of school, of course, we don't know too much about our students. We have to give them time in order for them to know us and us to get to know them. So once that relationship is established, that's when we can sit down and start seeing what are the goals that we can start developing. So I would suggest that at the beginning of the school year, not right when we start the school year, but having those conversations and then monitor the progress of the students as much as we can. Maybe the minimum will be 3 times a year, but keep monitoring those students. And you know which students you are going to be needing to meet more often and what students you can leave them a little bit more on the free side because they're going to achieve that goal. It doesn't mean that it's a bad thing that you're meeting more often. Some students need more support. Sometimes they don't have the support they need at home. They don't have the support they need in other classes. And that's why we need to keep getting involved into the progress of those students.